One. Welcome into the Be Different podcast. Once again, Brad Redford, your host, is here along with Nick Given and Greg Witcher, the Cincy recruits. The guys are back at it. And Greg Witcher did everything possible to get this going tonight. So, Greg, we appreciate you. And, Nick, we got to find you. I don't know where Nick Given is, but we're going to find him. If you're a first-time listener to the Be Different podcast, fantastic. And why listen? Because we find the most compelling people and stories, and we're focusing on sports right now. Our goal is that with each podcast that you find at least, one thing that you can take away from it, whether it's something funny, whether you're a coach listening, something you can take away for your players, or you're an athlete, something you can put to the table. So we hope that with each Be Different podcast interview that there's one thing that you can go ahead and take away and have some fun with it. And how can you help? Well, subscribe to our page on YouTube. That is helpful, as well as follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Everything counts. And if you really do like it, please post it, share it, send it to somebody else. So we appreciate you guys listening, tuning in, and feel free to leave comments on what you like, what you didn't like, and other people that we can find for the show as we move forward. So moving on from that, I am proud to enter in one of the all-time Xavier greats, standing at 6'5", 190 pounds, a guy that will be greatly missed. I think a lot of people know who I'm talking about. That's number 55, J.P Macura. J.P., how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
You're doing amazing. Gosh.
Yeah. Yep. I was good. Now I'm amazing that I'm talking to you.
You know what? I mean, when you get a chance to talk to me, it's got to be a good feeling, J.P.
Yep, for sure.
And you just drove from Chicago to Minnesota with Karam?
Yep, I did. I flew in, and then originally I had a Memphis workout, but it got canceled because of thunderstorms or something.
Gotcha.
So I was stuck, and we just drove to Minnesota.
Gotcha. So, well, and JP, I do want to get into what's been going on with you since you finished playing your last game in the Xavier uniform. But I do have a very serious question for you to start off the interview. So I'm not trying to throw you off right here. We're gonna get to the stuff you've been doing over the last month, but there's a question that I've been getting from fans, from people texting me saying, "What are you gonna ask JP?" And this has been coming up countless times. I know you've been working out. I know you've been practicing with the NBA teams, the NBA rosters. But how much Fortnite have you been playing over the last week?
Honestly, way too much. More than I should be. It's kind of taken over my life a little bit. Other than basketball, I play a lot of Fortnite.
I mean, you were the one who introduced me to Fortnite, and I was slow to get on the bandwagon. I really was. And then after you and Sean O'Mara broke it down to me at Xavier a few months ago, like I see it everywhere now, and I don't know how I missed it. But the way that you explained to me how Fortnite works was fantastic. And have you picked up any new secrets to any Fortnite users out there, or I think in many ways that you have become the Fortnite brand and a person that people look up to, especially in this area. Is there anything that you want to say to your Fortnite fans specifically?
I don't really have too many Fortnite fans, but for the ones that I have, if you guys want to play with me, you can. I'm not the greatest, but I would prefer someone who's way better than me to be on my team. So if you're really good, hit me up.
So I need to learn how to play. Like I still have not taken the dive, and it's too late to jump in.
Yeah,
I can't learn.
The people who are playing are way too good, to be honest.
So I'm in trouble.
Yeah, complete trouble.
So you start with how many players are in a Fortnite game?
100.
And then you go down until there's one left?
Yep.
And where do you make it to most often?
I either die relatively soon or top 10, because I land where it's heavily populated.
All right. So what's been going on outside of that? You've been bouncing all around. I've seen some interviews with you. What teams have you worked out for? What's kind of the feedback been, and the overall process of what's been going on with you?
Yeah, I spent some time in Miami with my agency out there. Trained there for a few weeks, and then went to Cleveland. I was training there for a while, and then I had 8 workouts. I went Spurs, Suns, Celtics, Minnesota, Milwaukee, Charlotte, Sacramento, Cavs. They've been really good. Honestly, it's really competitive. There's 6 guys in the group, and I just finished up a few days ago, thankfully, because they're super tiring.
Yeah.
But I mean, as of now, I think that I'm probably going to go undrafted.
Okay.
But there's still a lot of opportunity with summer league and stuff. I think I have a few options with that. So we'll see within the next couple of days where I'm going to be headed. But then just work my way up from there. Just compete every day and bring it.
Does it bother you? I mean, that you don't see yourself on any of the mock draft boards, or you don't see yourself getting drafted on Thursday? Like, is there something about it that bothers you, or do you just see it as an opportunity to continue to prove yourself?
I mean, I see it as an opportunity to continue to prove myself. There's a lot of young guys in this draft. There's really talented players. It's a good draft, and if I don't get drafted, I don't really look at it as disrespect. I just look at it as they think that there's better players. So I'm just going to go out and try my hardest to compete and be the best person I could be.
So what was the first workout that you did? What team was that with?
The Spurs.
Were there any nerves and butterflies when you went into that?
Yeah, there was, because I didn't really know what to expect. I asked Trayvon a little bit about how they went. He kind of told me a little bit, but I was tired, a little bit out of shape, and it was just nerve-wracking at times. But once I got that one out the way, it felt a lot better, the upcoming ones.
So what's the setup of the workout? Do they fly you in, put you up in a hotel, you're there for a day, and then you take off? Or how long's the workout?
It depends. They fly you in the night before, put you in a hotel, and then some teams wake you up at 6:30, some teams wake you up at 9, and then they do like a doctor physical. They ask you if there's anything wrong with you, sprained ankles, whatever, injuries. And then after that, you stretch, you do some testing, possible vertical, 3/4 court sprint, maybe bench press, and then you work out. Some are 45, some are hour and a half, some are an hour. It kind of depends on the organization. 6 guys in a workout. They try and tire you everywhere, try and run you a ton, and then just see kind of what you're made of.
Is it a mix of like shooting, ball handling, and then you play in one-on-one situations? Do they throw you a bunch of stuff at you?
Yeah, sometimes you start with shooting and dribbling, and then like one-on-one full court, 3-on-3, maybe 4-on-4 with some coaches. It just kind of depends on what they want to do. It's a lot of 3-on-3 though, and they put you in certain sets and see how you play off of ball screens and stuff.
What did the players? You said you had 5 other guys with you in the majority of the workouts. So who were those other guys?
I mean, it depends. It's just like everybody across the country. I worked out with Wenyan Gabriel from Kentucky, Malik Newman, Kansas, Isaac Haas, Purdue, Dakota Mathias, Purdue. Just kind of all over the board. It really just depends on who comes in. So it's really competitive, and everybody's fighting for a spot eventually.
Was there anybody that stood out to you, a guy that you thought going into it, you were like, I don't know about this guy, and then when you saw him on the court and played against him, you're like, I get it, this guy's pretty good?
Not really, because I don't really pay attention to that stuff in the first place. I'm not on their Instagrams, I'm not on their Twitter, I don't watch a ton of their games. Yeah,
because you're just on Fortnite.
Yeah, just strictly Fortnite, so I don't really pay attention to that stuff.
What about your boy DiVincenzo? This guy is skyrocketing up draft boards right now. I mean,
I saw him in Milwaukee. He didn't work out, but I was just talking to him a little bit, and I'm happy for him. I think even if he didn't have the national championship game, I think he still would have got drafted for sure, just because of how athletic he is. And
yeah,
he's a good basketball player.
It was definitely funny, the narrative after the national championship game. He had 31 points against Michigan, and he came off the bench, and the narrative was this guy came off the bench and scored, but DiVincenzo was essentially a starter for Villanova all year.
Yeah, no.
So it wasn't really a surprise to anyone that followed that team all year long.
Yeah, no, they were a very talented team.
All right. Well, J.P. Macura, man, it's going to be weird next year not to see you in a Xavier uniform. I mean, it's going to be strange.
Weird, yeah, for sure.
It felt like you were there forever. You're very loved by everybody here. You're trash talking. I don't think there's ever going to be another Xavier player that's going to be able to ruffle the feathers of players quite like a J.P. Macura. My favorite moment, if I was to look back, that Seton Hall dunk that you had, that was one of my favorite moments. I actually like the moment, JP, when you were a freshman and you went after DSR when Georgetown was playing at Cintas. And where does that come from for you? Where does that competitiveness come from? I mean,
I have no idea. Well, my brother's 18 months older than me, so whenever I was younger, I mean, if you're 8 years old and your brother's 10 years old, you're not going to really win in too many things because they're physically stronger, faster than you. So it was probably years of losing to my brothers and his friends. And then I finally just got way too competitive and turned it up a notch and started talking crap.
Well, and you consistently play like you have something to prove, and I guarantee that will continue as you move on to the next level. And I know for me and everybody else here that's listening to this podcast, we definitely wish you the best, and you gave people a lot of fantastic moments during your time here at Xavier. And at this time, I want to create another fantastic moment with J.P Macura, and this is what we call the 10 questions on the Be Different podcast. And there's a lot of people that have been through the 10 questions. They start out relatively easy, and then as we work 1 through 10, they do get a little bit more challenging. I want to be upfront. I want to be transparent. I want to be honest about these 10 questions.
That is totally fine. I'm ready for them.
So they're quick.
And keep in mind, if I get them wrong, I really don't care what people think.
So you can't get any of these wrong. This is essentially rapid fire, and then all of the questions will be yes or no, true or false. So I will give you that. So I'm only going to give you 2 options in every single question, but they're going to go quick. Right. So once we get going, then we're rolling, man. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. 10 questions with J.P. Macura. Question 1: Grader's ice cream or a UDF milkshake?
UDF milkshake.
Question 2: Bigger influence on your life, Eminem or Post Malone?
Post Malone.
Question 3: I'd rather have a win at Cintas or a win on the road?
On the road.
Question 4: True or false? Len Elmore is my favorite analyst.
False.
Question 5: True or false? Your favorite team to beat up on in the Big East was the Butler Bulldogs.
True.
Question 6: Yes or no? If the NBA draft were focused simply on trash talking alone, you would be a surefire lottery pick.
Yes.
Question 7: Which is a more hated comparison by you, Dennis the Menace or Grayson Allen?
Grayson Allen.
Question 8: True or false? I've actually spent more time playing Fortnite than on my shooting percentage over the last year.
Can't answer.
Question 9. In a boxing match with you and Mick Cronin, the boxing match would last over or under 3 rounds?
Under.
Question 10. True or false? Last question. I will at some point be wearing a Louisville Cardinals shirt.
False.
Oh, that was good. JP, that was really well done. That might have been one of the better 10 questions that we've ever had on the Be Different podcast. I mean, that was fantastic. Did any of those make you nervous at all?
No, not at all.
I thought you did it great. It was quick. That's what you do. You answer those questions. You get it in there fast, and you knock it out. That was well done. It was well done. All right, JP, you have the Summer League coming up. I believe it starts, what is that, July 6th, Friday, July 6th?
I don't know the exact date, but soon.
That's the date. You're going to be in Vegas a couple days early, July 4th. Hang out, do your thing over a couple weeks, then you can go out and have some fun afterwards, right? But we're focusing on basketball at the NBA Summer League.
100% basketball.
Absolutely. Well, JP, you were fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. We wish you the best of luck. And everybody here at the Be Different podcast knows that J.P Macura is going to take it to the next level. And, JP, we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. See you, man.
All right. See ya.